Hey there. I'm going to do the deep dive on Judge, I think it's Aileen or Eileen Cannon. Um, Her birthday is under public record as February 1st, 1981. So that makes her 44 years of age, very young. And from what I have looked up, um, she's pretty inexperienced, and so she's been placed in a position that's kind of out of her orbit. And she's making a lot of mistakes with overreach. And interestingly enough, her astrological chart indicates that she would have such predispositions. So it's very interesting. Um, she's an Aquarius, and she's pretty um oh, what's the word? She likes confrontation a bit. She's just a bit kind of spicy. All right. But she has been being given to understand that some of what she's demanding is outside of her reach as the judge that she is. It has to be done by a different judge. So it indicates, she's she lacks experience, so on and so forth. And um she's not making a lot of friends, is the impression, by throwing her weight around and liking to do that, liking to uh use her power should anyone dare contest what she wants. And she's had to step back from some things, as I've said, that I read about, because she overstepped or made a mistake in trying to direct uh, certain things that are out of her reach, that she's not given to do. Just because she's a Supreme Court judge doesn't mean she can just willy-nilly. And she's having to learn more of this protocol. So let's just take a look at her. I want to look at the length of her time window, how long she'll be in there. Now, I have a big problem with these people that have made it, for many of them, a lifetime thing. But in the same breath, I'm so grateful that we had Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because she was seemingly more middle, you know, sensible, reasonable. You didn't have to worry about her to make an ethical call. Um, Now we're in a position where we're going to see how much we value that and how much we just can't allow the decline of our nation to continue under this unchecked greed of thinking that the wealthy should just have everything and are better than everyone else. This is basically a form of a class struggle that is going on, and we don't even realize it. Um, America really does need to wake up. Um, anyway, I have to get warmed up before I get started. So let's just see, what do we need to know about her with her longevity? Is she going to stay in, or might she get in trouble for overreach and pushing things too far? What do we need to know? I'm asking my spiritual mentors and guides. What do we need to know about Judge Cannon? Does she have a lengthy career ahead? What do we need to know about her? We're putting her in the spotlight. What is it that the American people need to know about her? And her time as a judge, if it will be lengthy. Let's see what we get. Okay. I get someone that is very naive, that doesn't feel like they fit in, has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, that she does take big risks and push the envelope and gets called out for coming to, close to the edge there. And I think, yes, it looks like she is going to push an envelope too far here, something where I think benefits or the lack of well-being is concerned. There's a decline with the Five of Pentacles. And it's her judgments that can cause suffering, especially for, it looks like in this case, the ever increasing folks without enough money to live on, and people that may be disabled, older, or are in financial decline, a decline of health. If this isn't for her, and I tend to think that it's those that get to suffer the consequences of her foolishness and of her willingness to take big risks outside of her scope and of experience and understanding. It's like someone coming in to do a job that it's a bit out of their depth. She's not quite there yet. So that's showing up. All right, let's see what else I get with it. I'm getting the big money with the Ten of Pentacles, with a lot of independent oligarch people like Elon, and those that have tremendous wealth. It shows that she's all about the wealth. There's only one card out of 4 here that isn't a pentacle, and that's the major arcana. It's the Fool card. The rest is about independent wealth that is, to me, like untouchable. And it is that wealthy 1% group. I think she aspires to get next to that. And in particularly because we do have the Fool and the feeling like poor, right? And then we have cards of wealth and well-being and shining and bright, and here it's a bit dimmer, more dim, with the exception of the Fool just going out off the cliff. This is why I have to take a bit of time with the cards. I'm not one of those readers that just races through them. I That's not how I process. And that probably drives some people nuts, but this channel's not for them. Plenty of fast readers out there. Let's see what else I'm getting with this. Yeah, so I think she's feeling maybe like that's part of a group of people that she wants to be associated with, and she's feeling, I think, a bit left out here, or maybe even a bit ostracized. There are big issues that are going to come up to do with the extremely wealthy, hold your shock and disbelief, and the ever increasing less than wealthy, the ever growing poorer people. There's no reason for this other than the level of greed amongst these people has become so bad, and no one has stood up to them because of greed. They want to get next to that well. And if they do, they're silenced. This much wealth with too many people creates a corruption that just is like infectious. Mm. All right, what else are we getting about her? That this is a painful ending that we're going through. And for her, I think she's going to be doing things that bring a lot of suffering. But there's also going to be, I believe, her not being able to continue to do so with this 10 because it's the end of the line on it. It is a release of a great deal of suffering. And we also have, I'm getting the feeling of the backstabbing. There's a bit of an energy here that feels jealous, that feels envious of the well-to-do. I think that's her. And I think that she's looking at getting closer to those with wealth and power. Very much. She feels otherwise like she's forgotten about or kind of invisible. And she's, I think, trying to get their, attention, money, success coming her way by cutting them breaks, by doing things like she does for Trump because he installed her. But that's who she's working for, not in her mind, not the people. It's wanting to angle herself closer to the wealthy that she's very envious of, that she's foolishly going out there taking risks for, and putting the greater populace in a position of suffering through. She doesn't care. Again, it's to approximate herself to wealth. And I see her stepping, I think, afoul. I think that she will, once again, go too far and do something that is, make a call that's absolutely going to be putting the fork in on something. And it's just to me, it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back here, that where she's gone too far with that movement of the Knight of Wands and aggression to the point that something is just like, but also with that ending, I feel like is a great deal of trust in her judgment, discernment with all those swords. It's like she's not, cut out for this. No kidding. And we do have death and the Two of Cups there is a break or an ending with a partnership or an affinity, possibly even in her relationship. I do believe she's married. This could be the end of a marriage or of an association. I feel like she's very immature. And that makes sense with the Fool card looking back at these other cards. Because all these cards fit to like a puzzle together in the story that they yield the message. And I feel like there is a significant partnership. I don't know whether that's to Trump or her marriage or something else, but there's going to be an ending. And it looks to be pretty painful. And she's going to be feeling pretty aggressive. She has a jealousy. Maybe she's going to cease extending her favors to those that think that she's invisible or that don't appreciate it. That's kind of the vibe. And if it's her marriage, that looks like a very painful ending of that bond. There's like a break in that bond. There's confusion here, and there's a great deal of emotional entanglement and a sense of fulfillment and identity. And it's too fanciful. It's just too uh what is the word? It's just too wishy-washy. It's not settled emotion. These two, both are cups cards, and this deals with her emotional relationships with people as well. And that seems to be a big thing for her, I think, this year. I think there's going to be at least one a partnership or bond that is going to end. And it looks like there's a lot of dreams and fantasy of, I think, being a certain part of the jet set or this club. I'm not really sure, but it's like belonging. And it's like she needs to feel like they accept her. Hold on a minute. It could be that if it's in her relationship, there could be issues of hopes and dreams being very different. Um, it could also be, I don't know if she's got children or not, but it could be that one of in her relationship that there's fantasy that's pulling it apart from being the wholesome family. That could be infidelity. It could be even, frankly, possibly substance use or different kinds of addictions. You know, certain kind of imagery that is inappropriate can be a problem for some people, or overeating can be a problem. It doesn't always have to be drugs, but it looks like there's this disconnection from reality with the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Cups, big time. And I just keep feeling like she's wanting to be part of this elite club, but feels left out and maybe a bit sour, and might have either stepping aside from that loyalty, or there's an end with, like I'm saying, a partnership or an agreement of her marriage. I'm not sure. There is a King of Cups and the Nine of Cups. So this could be possibly a male, maybe her husband, might even be another judge. It just kind of came to me. But I sense him being kind of smiling behind her struggle, behind this shift and end for her where this partnership is concerned. I feel like there's a man that's kind of smirking about it. I don't know if it's the ex, to be fair, or the soon-to-be ex. If it's the marriage, it could be a partnership of some kind, uh, to do with Trump and that whole crew of people. But I'm almost feeling like this King of Cups is one of the male judges. And I don't think that he's terribly fond of her. I think he finds her very harsh and, like I said, immature, kind of a pain. So there's a bit of Schadenfreude, I feel like, going on a bit with a King of Cups. And I don't think that that's Biden. I don't. I think that this is someone else. Again, we're dealing with a childishness or a inexperience as well. And maybe also in how one deals with others emotionally, not good at, there's something to be said for people that can work well with other people, that can make that reach. This feels very, once again, like the Fool, the Page of Cups, very childish, out of depth and emotionally not very mature in how one associates and interacts with people. That's the word I wanted. Now we get the Page of Swords, also perhaps a bit too suspicious or, um, I feel like she carries a lot of envy and that she doesn't trust others around her. Like she thinks that they just want to take advantage. She really likes to be able to be a judge. I do. She has a lot of placements also in Libra in her chart, which was very interesting. Despite the fact that she's very tilted, there's other reasons for that. And certainly someone that's proficient at astrology, unlike myself, with just some bits of knowledge, could better explain that. But I get someone that's very immature, that's uh, inexperienced, and is therefore, I think, hypervigilant with this card, because she knows that there are areas that she just doesn't, like I said, have that wisdom, that experience to draw from. So she's a bit on her defense, being in the position that she's in as a Supreme Court judge that has just kind of been given that. What else goes with this? The High Priestess. So there's some hidden things. There's some secrets that she's, I think, keeping. And maybe that's one of the reasons why she's trying to be so like, we can't uh, have the second volume of Jack's report because it's too much personal information or whatever. This is that kind of overextended response to something that's not doesn't fit the situation, from what I understand from another judge. And it's her lack of experience that causes that, so she's kind of uptight. and on the defense and very insecure, I think. Well, she does have some sort of an offer that is coming or that she's looking for. I don't know that she is particularly enjoying, other than for the power. There might be other things that it looks to me like she wants to get involved in, and it could deal with foreign nations across the water and interactions and growth. I'm not quite sure that this is, as a judge, what she really has her heart in. And there's some kind of that she does have some kind of an approach that she's looking for, rather, she's still looking for something that speaks to her rather than the position that she's in. I think she's made a lot of errors because she doesn't fully understand the ins and outs of her position exactly yet. And there's a foreign land that interests her. I'm getting the Three of Swords. Now, this can be about, betrayal, breaking a partnership, a bond. We already had that earlier with the Death and the Two of Cups there. But I think she's going to have a falling out. I think that maybe that's why she's also going to be looking for an out or an offer or something else, because I don't know that she's going anywhere, but I think that she's miserable or she's going to be miserable, and feel like she's been used. And if she doesn't have things good going on in her marriage, that's going to just make it that much worse. If there's a breakup and then it looks to me like this is her. Something isn't going right, and there's a loss of sleep, there's anxiety, and she operates pretty high strung anyway with that Page of Swords and the Fool. So her engine revs pretty high, and I feel like she ruminates over things. She doesn't stop thinking about things, and thinking, and I think she does have a problem with social interactions for some reason. I don't know a dang, thing about her, the other than what little bit I've read, but I just get a sense, more and more a sense of her personality as being actually rather on the immature side, besides having this certain amount of knowledge. Like I said, the lack of experience makes her stand out and makes her feel insecure, and she's hypervigilant. I don't think that it is particularly something that at least one male judge, I think, enjoys. I think that there's a bit of a smirk as she's going to be going through some sort of, I think, more personal struggles, and partnership struggles where she's aligned herself, and there's an ending and a souring and a really deep sense of being used. That can't be good. So is she going to get called out for anything that she's done or will do that is not legal? That may have been hidden, because we did get the secrets card, and she's guarding that pretty carefully. I think it's likely things that she's either tried to do or been involved in that she realizes now, wouldn't have been right. She's not seasoned, I think, as a adult for some reason, with all those page cards, and unless she's got like a couple of kids or something, and I don't think that she does. Let me just check. So, okay, so she does have two children. Um, it's so interesting because she just doesn't come off as very maternal, and she might be a great mom for all I know, but she's got the Fool, and I don't think that that's entirely about her children. The Pages, that could definitely be them. And I still think she's immature from what I'm seeing. All right. So she's married to, let's see, I'm trying to find his name. Let's see if I can find the name. Well, she's born of a Cuban mother in America. Her husband purchased a property in 2020, shortly after her nomination and before her confirmation. And a second, her recent paperless minute orders in a Mar-a-Lago case. Oh, a second property. The juxtaposition of these two unrelated activities is suggestive of possibly revealing inappropriate stuff. All right, let's see. Her husband's name is Joshua Lawrence, and Vero Beach, Florida. Bought their place in 2020. Pretty confident that she was going to be confirmed in buying that place. I'm sure. Because she took the offer. And I think she knew that she would get it. Let's see, let's see, just trying to grab any other little detail. So they were married in 2008. CEO for Bobby's Burgers, based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, so as a chief restaurant operations officer, okay, showing that he made $92,206 a year. Couldn't have purchased the house clearly by himself. That's interesting. And doubtful that the couple could have gotten a mortgage or even a mortgage guarantee without showing proof of her income, and not in expectation, but as in fact. Oh, maybe that's some of the secretive stuff. Doing this kind of stuff with paperwork. Given her bare minimum experience in law practice and her relative youth, it is perhaps surprising that the Senate did not scrutinize her more carefully, right? She's a member in the Federalist Society. It doesn't explain also why Democrats gave her a pass so readily. I'm so PO'd with them, I gotta tell you. They've just been gutless wonders in many respects. They did not have, in my opinion, Kamala's back the way they should have in standing up to any of this. And then had her go out there. Big changes need to be made. All right. Let me see. So letting Trump off the hook for filing a deadline, putting off deadlines. She's pandering to him. Okay. But that's not, I want to find out a little bit more about the kids. I don't know. You know what it was? I want to see the husband's birth date. I don't think he's the water sign, though. I think that's another judge. I just want to see what it is, so in case he comes up later. My guess is he's probably a fire sign, another air sign, maybe. Let me see. Josh Lawrence. All right. Hold on a second. That is so interesting. I found out that her husband has a connection to someone that's said to be in the organized crime, John Rosati, that he had worked for this individual, and that it's kind of, they like to kind of keep that on the quiet. Is a New York mob boss. I don't know what he did for him, but so that's interesting. Very private. Let's see. Of course, Florida. All right. I'm just trying to see if I can get a birth date on this guy. Okay. So I'm just going to see, is she going to get removed? That's really what I'm interested in knowing. Is she going to end up getting removed? Because apparently, just in trying to look for like a birth date for her husband, I came across some bits and pieces of information that were interesting. Like I was seeing with the cards, she's not exactly a favorite. That shows up, and that there's a court that can, remove her, apparently. So she can be removed. Will she be removed? I see her as a Queen of Swords. There are conflicting birth dates, but I read that it's on public record that it's February 1st, but I don't know. I've also seen November 21st or something like that. Regardless, she has a tremendous amount of Libra influence either way. And unfortunately, it's not in a balanced way. There's other interesting aspects about her chart. I advise you to look it up if you want. I will put a link in the description box so you can go and read it if you're interested. I find things like that really interesting. So I want to see if she's going to be removed. And I mean like this year, 2025, or the next 2026. Is she going to be removed in the next couple of years? By 2026, will she either be removed or be about to be removed? Yes or no? Next 2 years, will Cannon be removed? Well, this is kind of like maybe, or there's the fantasy aspect here with the Seven of Cups. There's opportunities, different choices, maybe with what they're going to do, but I think she's going to get held to account in some way. I don't know what that's going to look like, because this looks like there's more than one way to do it. And that has not been decided upon, it looks like, yet. But one thing that is really clear, that she's going to get called out for her pandering. And I think nonsense. Also, perhaps this could be confusion that she creates when she tries to overreach beyond, her bench or whatever. It can also mean that there's just a lack of sensibility with some of what she's doing. And it's creating confusion. And I just don't feel like the court likes it. I don't feel like she's a comfy fit there. That is why I got that Five of Pentacles. That's for her. I think she feels like a sore thumb. I do. And I think she realizes that she's an odd, because of her inexperience. She's there and amongst those that have much more experience, and she's kind of out of place. And I think it makes her feel, I do. I think it makes her feel like she's kind of on her own. I don't think there's anybody saying, hey, you want to go hang out after? I don't think so. We're getting the children here and possibly the past. This could be nostalgia as well. Yeah, she really does feel alone. I think she might just spend more time with her kids when she's, not working. I don't really feel like she's really necessarily spending a lot of time with the husband either, but I do feel like there's a feeling of isolation with her. And it might go back to childhood too, that she's never really fit in. Aha. I think there's an aspect of that. And I think it has to do with some of her kind of very forward and maybe a bit harsh interactions, tendencies. Again, there's that social misfit kind of a feeling. The High Priestess, and there's spiritual counsel here. There's some spiritual, I feel like, something coming through, intuition. And maybe about conservative beliefs. There might be secrets about some of those really conservative beliefs, or some connection to someone that's really a big mucky muck, so to speak, in a conservative movement, religious movement. Someone in power, but this person has secrets. I feel like they're maybe that prosperity gospel thing. Maybe it's like Joel Osteen or something like that. It's kind of that vibe. Ace of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. I think there will be a decision about her career that will become clear. And maybe with regard to removing with the sword, kind of that aspect, that she could be removed. There's the King of Swords. Now, this could be Trump. This could also be another judge taking action. This could be actions that Trump's involved in. It could be actions that another, I think, legal individual like a judge would do. This is the smart mouth. this is the underhanded type of comments, being a bully, not liking. I don't think she wins any great friends there. I think that she will be taken into consideration for removing. Yes, they just not being personable is a big thing, and immaturity, and it just not a good fit. Again, she feels like a third wheel. She feels like meh. She's disconnected. She doesn't feel like she belongs. Okay. Now, here we have someone trying to get away with things. It could be her. There are maybe some financial things that are curious and maybe pushing a bit in whatever she's claiming them to be for. I'm not sure. But it looks like there's some sneaky financial stuff, maybe much like what it was to get the house, and the two of them didn't really have the capital. And so there's some people that looked the other way or gave her a green light to get that home, that mortgage. Let me see. I'm getting a lot about her personally and her energy. And I have a feeling she's pretty irritable type of individual. That's that high strung, kind of hyper vigilant irritation, afraid that someone's going to really show her out for not knowing what she's doing all the time. So I do think that there are people that want her gone. They're just not sure how they want to go about and do it. And I think she's going to feel used. So is someone going to remove Judge Cannon for her conduct with Trump and the things that she's done for Trump and pandering to him? Will she get removed for that? Well, I do have the 5 of this is her being the feeling like the ostracized person. There's a great deal of emotion. She could. I mean, this could be her getting removed and like feeling like that's a big blow to her, uh, career. With the 5 of Pentacles, it's a demotion. And I do see that. I also think that she genuinely feels like an odd one out. And I think she knows and can sense and feel the interest that the others judges don't, that they have, that they are not. There's no sense of camaraderie, is what I get. There's no sense of camaraderie that you would expect. The Page of Swords. I think she knows that it's coming, or she knows I think she will. There's a change that's coming. I think that she's watching, trying to be careful, but watching for it. I think she's trying to avoid it. But I think just as much as she's watching that, others I think are also watching her and looking to do so to make a change where she's concerned with him. So this is where I think she might come to regret one day having helped him, because I think that it's not going to do her, it's not going to look good on her career-wise. And there is a change with that Page of Swords, and there's I feel like paperwork with the Page of Swords. There's that legal aspect that starts. So I think it could come in the future. And yeah, I do think with her behavior in helping him and her choices and the financial angle, that it's clearly there's a benefit, is going to get looked at, and they're going to be looking at, I think, what it is they need to do. Maybe they're not sure how, like what I got, they're not sure exactly yet about how they want to proceed with this, but they definitely want her gone. Movement. They want someone else in. The Devil and the Nine of Pentacles. There's the wealth angle. I think they might go for her through benefits of luxury, money, independent wealth. And this can be someone that's bribing or is chained to that addictive behavior with money and be capable of being bought. So this financial aspect and on her career come back into the spotlight for sure. And there is corruption, and it deals with a great deal of money and individuals that are financially wealthy or have access to money and being able to sway. Again, money with this time, the Knight of Pentacles. This could be a really close look at her finances. In the future, I do believe that they will be wanting to look over finances and any kind of benefit received, and maybe even the income. They often get them on income, charges and things like that. So income tax, that kind of stuff. Let me see what else. I have a lot I want to ask about her. Is she going to cease this year in helping Trump? Is she going to step back from helping Trump? Is she going to not want to be connected or associated? Or will that somehow sour? Let me just put it this way, is her association with Trump going to sour this year? Is her association with Trump, is Judge Cannon's association with Donald Trump going to sour this year? Is that the relationship I see ending? Unless it's her marriage. There's something not right. I mean, that is an ending of a relationship. I think so. There's a sense of betrayal with the Three of Swords. She's going to feel perhaps like she was used and that she gets the worst end of that risk. And that would make sense potentially because she does get that card of the fool, that one that takes too big a risk. The what's that the saying? The mouth that writes checks it can't cash. There's this kind of thing. And the money aspect again comes back up to do with wanting independent wealth, lifestyle, luxury goods, luxury lifestyle, expensive homes, vehicles, so on, so forth. And her approximation to this is going to sour either the money that I think she thought was going to come her way or rub off on her isn't looking like it's going to do that, or she's going to be in trouble for it. There's a catch, and it's going to be a great deal of suffering. Yes, I do think that there's going to be some sort of fast-moving situation coming in here. And it could also be a reaction. It could be something that he reacts and does, or she does. It's being slow, though, with the money. So fast with the promises and the thoughts and the communication, but slow, I think, to manifest or give money. There's just, it's all about a benefit to her career as well. And that's showing up, and it doesn't look good. And it's going to be, I think, investigated, looked at, I think, as that there's like a falling out. There's that help, that pandering, also possibly, being given an incentive, shall we say? And the Ace of Cups, overflowing. There might be her saying or talking about, hey, I helped you, in so many words, which would be foolish, but there's the feeling, definitely emotionally, that I assisted you. I did you a solid. You put me in here, but I've done you a solid. And you've done something here to betray me. And so there's all these emotions. Maybe not feeling like she's being given the incentive that she thought she would get. Here she is, and she steps away. She walks away. So she's going to walk away from Trump, it looks like, and from being quite so ready to assist him. At some point in the future, she's going to walk away. And I think it's this. I did ask for this year, and I think it is. I think she's going to say, that is more than I can help you with, and I want no part of that. I don't feel like I belong anyway. What am I doing this for? We're not aligning. She's wanting to walk away. It's more focus on her family and a quiet life with the High Priestess. She is very secretive. She might step away from the bench, maybe even, I don't know, do something different. I see another feminine energy as a justice coming in, maybe to remove her or to enable her to step away or to walk away. This could be someone that would be either, that's, if she's not already on a judge, maybe this would be somebody that could also be someone coming in to replace her position. I wonder. I do get the King of Swords. That's my trump card, and the money. So this makes me feel like he'll just get another person that he wants to purchase to fill, pay per play, pay to play. But we do have the Five of Pentacles here. There's that feeling. Oh, wow. There's an ending, and there's a health ending in connection to, I think, Trump showing up pretty soon. So something is going to end with him. Again, I've been telling you, I don't get that he would be in there for whatever, for the full, I don't think the full four. Definitely don't feel that. I could be wrong, but my dream and stuff said it would be short. And I don't know why they would tell me that if it was just going to go ahead and be the full four. Plus, he keeps getting these cards coming in, I think within this year, of a decline mentally and physically and an ending. And there's issues with money. And I think being exposed for the fraudulent stuff and just outright lies and especially financial. There's a big financial trail here that shows up. So that's super interesting. I see her withdrawing her support from him in a big way. I didn't think she'd do that. Sure, she might go on and do something else, but this is like doesn't and is wanting to step away from the whole scene, um, and just focus on her family. So I think it may not be her marriage. That partnership may be her loyalty to Trump and trying to continue to do him these favors. I think it's going to put her in a tough spot, and she's going to see that he's perhaps not helping her in the way that she feels is needed or necessary. Anyway, some way, somehow, she feels like she's been discarded or um, uh, ignored or not appreciated. And I see her stepping aside and him looking to have someone else come in, but maybe then having a health issue and there is an ending. It's just weird. And that death card this time with the decline is connected to the Trump card. And he's got the card of like what I think is like genetic family health issues with the 10 of Pentacles. And then there's the 5 of Pentacles and death. So I think within this year, next year, something could happen um, with him. And it looks like it would happen after maybe she leaves. So there might be a way to, it may not, but it might be a way for us to know a time window. If she steps away within this year or next, then we'll know from my cards that his passing is on the heels of that. So that's what I saw with the cards. So let's just keep that in mind. And this is so grim and weird. I hate this, but this guy's out of his mind. And our government has got a lot of changes that the parties, all the parties need to make. And we're going to be making them. And it's because Trump is going to be showing us the contrast. Like I've said, that's why he's in. So he's going to be in for as long as it takes until the universe says, okay, they've got it. And then I think he's going to have a failure of health in some way. There's a loss, a decline. All right, let me just ask. Is Judge Aileen Cannon, Aileen, is she going to leave the bench? Is she going to leave the bench in 2025? Is she going to leave the bench in this year? for whatever reason, is she going to step away this year? I get a yes with this Ace of Swords, or it will be clear that maybe that's what she's going to be maybe headed towards. And it's paired with a King of Wands. Now, to me, this is a male that might have some kind of connection within the legal system, court, that may bring that information forward, or he might seek this removal. He could be someone that has to, even looks like a judge with that gown, but I think it's probably another judge, maybe that does the formality there with that Ace of Swords of removing her. Oh my gosh, the Tower. This is sudden disruption and unexpected that calls for a total revamp of the life here, or a change in a rebuilding and looking into the, ahead for opportunity, waiting to rebuild, maybe even to move. Huh. Maybe moving further away. The Knight of Swords, fast moving, and wow. Okay. So, like, according to these cards, she would be stepping aside this year. It feels, now with the tarot, what can happen in 2 years can feel like right now. Because they're not on it, spirit is not on a timeline. Earth, us mouth breathers here, are the ones on the timeline here. Knight of Pentacles in the family. Look, she's gonna, I think, step back, maybe work from home. I don't know what she's gonna do, but I think career-wise, I think there's focusing on family and stepping back from her job. There's an ending, and there's attending to family. Now, I don't know if that is, I don't think that that's a death in her family or anything like that. I think it's connected to Trump. Ace of Cups, because she hasn't felt comfortable the whole time she's been there. And I think she's been quite unhappy. And also, she has a lot of emotions here about, I think, helping him. It, I think, takes a lot emotionally from her in doing so, because I think she's concerned about her career and she wants to make sure that she's not, that they're going to have her back, is the feeling. And I just think that they're not going to look after her the way that she wants. And she's going to walk away. There's an ending. Wow. Okay. And here's that King of Cups again, and the Page of Swords that's watching her. I feel like there's a couple of male judges that keep an eye on her. I don't know who they are. One is the King of Wands, and this other one is this King of Cups that keeps coming up. And it's not, I don't believe that it's Biden. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. I think it's another judge. And I think it's because I just keep getting that information about how she doesn't feel like she belongs there. And she's very insecure about that. And I think she's trying to do whatever her best is, to help him and do what she's supposed to do on this level. But I think it's going to get to her. And I think for whatever reason, she's going to decide to step aside. Wow. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave it right there because this has been a very deep dive and a long one. So if you appreciate readings like this, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you soon in the next live and in the next video. I hope you're taking care. Make sure that you take a step back from the human craziness. All right. I will talk to you soon. And let's see, in one of my next videos. All right.